versus Whittaker, brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. A combined 15-0 spanning their last 15. Yoel Romero and Robert Whittaker have certainly earned their shot at the UFC interim middleweight title. Tonight, in short order, we will see which fighter makes history and becomes a first-time UFC champion.
This is the most competitive the middleweight division has ever been in the UFC's history. We've got a champion who was trying to be champion for years, finally now has the belt. Now you've got two of the greatest athletes we've ever seen in the middleweight division, named Yoel Romero and Robert Whittaker, that are going at it for that interim belt.
Oh! Massive head kick for Whittaker, follows it up with a straight right. South goes up.
Wow.
Oh, Whittaker pouring it on now.
Flying knee, he knocked him out.
Wow.
Huge elbows.
That's it.
Yoel Romero.
Tengo talento para esto.
Right on cue.
Romero's skill set is very high caliber.
Oh! Romero with a big shot.
He's in there to win, and I need these tough fights to push me further, to truly bring the best out of me.
Whittaker's coming through with some heavy shots. That is it, Robert Whittaker. Oh! And that's what we're talking about.
I'm gonna go to war July 8th, and you know, I hope he brings it too.
Oh, beautiful right hand.
This is absolute must-see TV.
It's gonna be a crazy night.
Vamos a dar el alma y
They continue to battle. Oh my God! What a fight!
We've got 25 minutes in there to try and beat one another, and you know, let the better man come on top.
These are two extremely scary opposition for the current champion.
see you some, boy.
Come into the light. Come into the light.
Well, it has been all systems go for the New Zealand-born Robert Whittaker since moving up to the UFC middleweight division. 6-0 in the UFC at 185 pounds. Tonight, at just 26 years old, Joe will try to complete the mission and become a UFC champion.
It has been fascinating watching the journey of this young man go from a kid that you keep your eye on to a man who has an air of greatness. And that's what I see when I see Robert Whittaker now. When I saw him stop Jacare Souza, it just was an exclamation point on that statement. You can tell this kid is on another level. He's in a new place. The question is that new place strong enough? Does he have enough tools in his toolbox? Does he have enough mental fortitude? Does he have enough technique, stamina, and ability to beat a guy who's one of the greatest athletes that's ever competed in MMA?
Tonight's Prep Point is brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Brian, it's been remarkable to watch the evolution of Robert Whittaker. He has evolved into one of the better strikers this middleweight division has ever seen, and tonight that figures to be the heart of what he'll try to do against Yoel Romero.
In my opinion, he's the quickest guy in this division. And when his hand speed is on point, he's quick, he's accurate, and it also allows him to get in and out before anybody can touch him. Not just with counter strikes, but also with level changes and takedowns. His footwork allows him to control distance and dictate the pace of a fight. And pace is going to be one of his biggest weapons tonight. We've seen Romero fade before. Romero is a low-volume guy And the longer this fight goes, the more the odds swing in the favor of Robert Whittaker, who's going to throw more volume. I expect to see him win rounds tonight. And if this goes the distance, man, you got to favor this kid because he is a very active and accurate striker.
I think the question is going to be, can he deal with the wrestling? Is he going to be able to stop the takedown? And can he deal with those ridiculous bursts of speed and explosion that are possessed by Yoel Romero?
I asked Whittaker about the magnitude of this moment and this chance for Australia, for New Zealand. He said, I'm trying not to run with that train of thought, put undue pressure on myself. But it comes down to this for Robert Whittaker, the biggest fight of his life. Now just moments away for the UFC interim middleweight title. The 2000 Olympic silver medalist in freestyle wrestling and one of the best athletes to ever cross into this UFC octagon, Brian Stann, the American top team product, Yoel Romero, 25 minutes or fewer away from UFC gold.
Middleweights are lying if they tell you any differently. When they get a call and this is the guy they have to fight next, they're thinking, oh man, what did I do wrong?
Unless you're Whittaker.
This guy is just that scary. I mean, his fight against Lyoto Machida barely did a thing early in the fight, and all of a sudden explodes in the later round, takes him down, elbows him into oblivion. Chris Weidman was fighting him perfectly, doing everything right. Out of nowhere, flying knee, knocks him out in an instant. Every moment you're in the octagon with this guy, you are in danger of him finishing you with something. We've just never seen someone this explosive in the octagon before. Oh, almost knocked out his own coach.
He just tagged him in the head. Doesn't look happy. But he's an incredible athlete, incredibly explosive, fantastic wrestling talent, and that's translated amazingly well to striking. His ability to absorb a shot is also pretty spectacular. Yes. And he recognizes the limitations of his style, and he knows how to pace himself. The question is, does he know how to pace himself for 5 rounds with a whirlwind like Robert Whittaker?
Absolutely. And when I had a deep conversation with him this week, and he talked about how they studied all of the foot placements of Robert Whittaker. Where does he step in his combinations? Really getting analytical so they can take this guy down and be on top and grind down that pace and control this fight. That was the big theme of this camp. Where is this kid has such good footwork? Where will he step? Where is he vulnerable for my takedowns so that I can control him instead of having to deal with him in space? I asked him about being a slow starter, and he reminded me. He said, Brian, look, I only have 13 fights. Some of these fights early in my career, I was trying new techniques. I was taking my time, just trying to get some experience. That's why I was fighting so slow. But when you hurt me, that's when I look to finish you.
Yeah, he's only had 1 fight in the last 18 months. Of course, the unforgettable finish of Chris Weidman, and 5 of his 6 UFC knockouts have been in that 3rd round, right? So he is a guy who changes things up in terms of his approach, his speed, and his power, and a lot of those knockouts have come later in fights. We'll see how it goes tonight. One of the best fights we can possibly put on paper, Yoel Romero and Robert Whittaker. With that, our Tail of the Tape is brought to you by Performance Inspired, the all-natural, high-performance line of sports nutrition, trusted by athletes and health enthusiasts. Visit pi-nutrition.com. ARM.sonnen.com. Yoel Romero, 14 years. Robert Whittaker Sr. Both men 6 foot even, 185 pounds for Romero. Robert Whittaker 184.5. Both men with a reach of 73.5 inches. Now for the introductions for our main event. Here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. Presented by Budweiser, this Bud's for you. Sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission. Chairman, Anthony Marnell Jr. Executive Director, Bob Bennett. Commissioners, Stacey Alonso, Skip Avancino, and Dr. Dan Carpenter. Our 3 judges scoring this contest at Octagon side are Sal Diamato, Junichiro Kamiho, and Chris Lee. And when the action begins, our referee in charge of the Octagon, Big John McCarthy. This bout is sponsored by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Metro PCS, who brings you closer than ever to the UFC on a fast nationwide 4G LTE network. And War for the Planet of the Apes. Winner takes all this Friday, only in theaters. And now, this is the moment UFC fans watching around the world have been waiting for. Live from the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, it's time! 5 rounds for the interim UFC middleweight championship of the world. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record, 19 wins, 4 losses. He stands 6 feet tall, weighing in at 184.5 pounds. Fighting out of Sydney, Australia, presenting the Tough Smashes welterweight winner and the number 3 ranked middleweight contender in the world, Robert the Reaper Whittaker! And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record, 12 wins, 1 loss. He stands 6 feet tall, weighing in at 185 pounds. Fighting out of Coconut Creek, Florida, by way of Pinar del Rio, Cuba, presenting the 2000 Olympics freestyle wrestling silver medalist and the number 1 ranked middleweight contender in the world, Yoel, Soldier of God, Romero!
Jenna, we got over the rules in the back. I want you to protect yourself at all times, obey my commands at all times. I want you to fight hard, to fight clean. If you want to touch gloves, touch them now. Good luck to both of you.
The wait for this one ends here. Yoel Romero, Robert Whittaker for the UFC's interim middleweight championship. The winner to face the undisputed king right now at 185 pounds, Michael Bisping, Octagon side alongside UFC President Dana White for this interim middleweight title fight tonight. Robert Whittaker with the nation on his shoulders, trying to come through. He is in the blue trunks. Yoel Romero in red. The fight clock is brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Romero out of the southpaw stance. Whittaker, the orthodox fighter.
Romero does a lot of weird stuff. He lulls you into a false sense of security with slow motion sometimes. And you're seeing it here. Just kind of feels you out, sees where you are. But when he explodes, it's shocking.
So unpredictable. A lot of guys underestimate the punching power of Whittaker. You know, a lot of his punches are short and they're crisp, but man, as he's shown time and time again, he lays people out with them.
Whittaker less than 3 months removed. Little slip there for Robert. Less than 3 months removed from that win over Jacare Souza that set up this championship opportunity tonight.
back in the center of the octagon. This is really where he wanted to be. Dictate the pace and the space of this fight with his striking, and wanted to be in the center of the octagon to do that.
Whittaker really wasn't concerned about 5 rounds tonight. Looked like Romero landed a kick to the body.
Nice timing though on the jab by Whittaker as well.
Whittaker's closing in very quickly. Beautiful jab there by Whittaker. The way he's closing the distance is very quick.
And he uses his legs to really snap in and hit you. It's not just an arm punch, it's a full body.
Hook kick.
And Whittaker nearly made him pay with a counter right shot here from Romero. Whittaker goes down.
We see a lot of times Romero, when he takes guys down, he sacrifices top position because he just postures up and throws bombs. Here he tried to keep on, but that's a big mental win for Robert Whittaker, escaping that easily. That's a loss in my eyes for Romero, who used a lot of energy to execute that takedown and really didn't get much out of it.
Tried a flying knee. Look at this. Wow. Whittaker with a takedown defense. Sensational.
Excellent hips there, somehow getting his legs back under him. But if you're in the corner of Whittaker, this is what you want. Get this guy to expend as much energy in round 1 as you can. And then look for him to fade later. They really do believe that Romero will slow down if this fight gets into the 4th and 5th round.
Whittaker's takedown defense north of 91% coming in. Less than 2 minutes now to go round 1. Whittaker wasn't too concerned about 5 rounds versus 3 tonight. He feels like the gas tank is really dependent upon who dictates the fight.
Nice work reaching across the head, getting his back off the fence.
I may be wrong, but I'm looking at Robert Whittaker's right leg, and I think he might have injured it in one of those scrambles. There's something about the way he's moving that just seems a little off.
It looks like the top of his foot has a cut on it. It's very easy just to break those bones on the foot. You kick someone in the knee or catch their elbow on a front kick.
I mean, it might just be the odd way that he moves, but I'm seeing this occasional straightening of his leg, where his leg locks, which just looks odd to me.
Nice front kick there, though, with that leg.
Whittaker feints. Under a minute here to go round 1.
Watch what he's going to come up with. He's going to scream. He's going to start food. Watch it.
Nice job by Whittaker to use the whizzer and get back to his feet. 20 seconds here in round 1.
Amazing takedown defense by Whittaker. Amazing.
Not an easy round to score, though.
Ooh. Powerful inside leg kick.
Ooh, just flicked him.
Good sign there that Whittaker was able to throw that right just out of range with a massive right hand.
It's all right, it's all right.
Does appear to be moving a little bit gingerly, Joe.
Yeah, something just seems
Fabs.
off.
Fabs, right stool.
Boy, his corner forgot the stool. Late to getting in there for him.
Sit, Robert. Sit, Robert. Sit. All right, mate.
Breathe. Drink a little bit of water. Okay, he's stomping on your left leg, okay? Huh? Yours? Okay, you need to make sure that you switch his stances left and right. Let him to think. You got to drive with that jab. He doesn't like to push you to the stomach either. But he's waiting for you. He's a piano. So just make sure you don't fall into that spring. He's going to be looking for time for the spring. Okay? Where does it hurt on your leg? Where does it hurt?
So we're going to try to find out when it happened, but I do believe he just said, my left leg is trashed.
I think this is where it happened, Joe.
Oh, that's it. So he's disguising it well. but there's something going on with his left leg, and it was from the very beginning of the first round.
That was a hard oblique kick, and look, when you're a guy who really depends on movement and being light on your feet, big injury for Whittaker to sustain. Until he's fighting through it.
Yeah, that is the lead leg, and you can see now, hard for him to put pressure on it.
I'll tell you what, though, look, there's already some bruising on the inside of the left knee.
Yeah, that was from an inside leg kick that Romero landed towards the end of the round.
Yep.
But Whittaker's having a real hard time pushing off that. But he's just throwing it anyway.
He has said in the past, no better place to break my hand than the octagon.
He's getting it out of the way really quick now.
Look at the way he stepped there, was very awkward.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like Romero realizes it yet, though.
I don't know how his corner isn't seeing it.
Been a lot of those collisions as both men try to advance.
Looked like Whittaker ate a knee to the chest, though, and a beautiful level change from Romero. Let's see if he can get some top time here, though, staying heavy. And there, look, Whittaker had an opportunity to lift with butterfly guard there, and if his left knee is hurt, he couldn't do it, and he immediately left butterfly guard to close his guard. Not something I would do if I wanted to get Romero off of me, but if your knee is trashed, like he said, man, you're going to have a hard time lifting.
Yeah, and if his knee is trashed, it's going to be very hard to keep weight on it as he's trying to get back up to his feet and use it in awkward angles. He might just try to hold on here for Big John to stand him back up.
Yep.
And it seems like that's what he's doing here.
To this point, Romero staying active enough, under 3 minutes here in round 2.
Yeah, I can see Big John send him up those shortly. And the big thing, too, though, is we've seen some vicious ground and pound from Romero in the past. He's avoiding a lot of that as well. Now Romero's up.
Romero tries to pass, unable to do so.
Whittaker with a bit of sweep, but Romero takes his back.
Get ready for Suplex City possibly here. Nice job by Whittaker to lower his base and get himself to the fence. Really nicely done.
Yoel still with control of the body. And lands a knee now, tries to kick the legs out from underneath Whittaker, not happening. Two minutes to go, round 2.
Better pacing by Romero in this round. He exploded a lot in round 1. The one takedown here, but even though he's controlling the clinch, not overexerting himself here in these positions and wasting energy.
Beautiful trip. But Whittaker back up to his feet, turning into Romero.
Hey, what though, that'll sap a lot of energy from your legs, constantly having to stand back up out of that tight waist and rotate through and pummel.
Whittaker landing that right knee.
And Whittaker just allowing too much fence control time here. Gonna dig that left arm in, try and get double underhooks and get out of this position. Or reach around the head like he did in round 1.
So John McCarthy not seeing enough action. Back to the center, less than a minute to go here in this second round of a possible 5. Romero 2 for 5 on his takedown attempts thus far.
Ooh. You see him, he tried to hide the wobble with that punch.
Whittaker showing off a pretty good chin there after a big right hand from Romero. So Whittaker seemingly fighting through injury here in this UFC interim middleweight title fight.
Romero just doesn't want to give him any space.
He also doesn't want to waste too much energy himself. clearly pacing himself. And he gets the takedown at the very end of the round.
I got it.
Right into the blue corner of the Reaper, Robert Whittaker.
Breathe, breathe, breathe. Take it easy, relax. Okay, breathe. Take a little bit of water. Push kicks, not turning kicks. Just drop in there. Use your hands more, boxing more. Use your footwork more. You got it, okay? You know what's happening with your left leg? You're gonna have to go through it. You understand me? Forget about it. Forget about it. Right now, think about the guy and punch him in the face. You get me? Punch him in the face. Guys, you want to say something to him?
Just keep it going, Rob. It's a long fight, mate. You've got plenty of time.
Yes, sir.
Plenty of time.
Alex?
He's going to be strong at the start of this round.
Alex, you got something to say?
Same thing. Got patience.
All right, be patient, yeah? Be patient. Quick. All right, so what are you going to do now?
Still, please. Thank you. Good job.
Joe, any thoughts on that message there to Whittaker from the corner now?
I mean, it's easier said than done to try to ignore the leg. The problem is he can't really push off of it correctly. You see, even as he's standing here, he's putting his weight on his right leg. We obviously have no idea how compromised it is, but it's an issue. It's going to affect his punching power. It's going to affect his kicks for sure. And it's going to affect his ability to grapple.
Let's get up.
The question is, how bad is the injury? How much of it is pain, and how much of it is instability? There's a big difference. He can get through pain.
Feinting nicely there, and has to put weight on that knee to do so. But I've been really impressed with Romero and some of the fight IQ we've seen from him. We've seen lack of focus before in previous fights. His fight against Derek Brunson, fight against Hani Marks, Tim Kennedy. He's had these lapses of focus where he's gotten caught, where he's got taken down. Here, though, late takedowns in each round, could very well be up 2 rounds to none right now, and hasn't overexerted himself.
Yeah,
Stop.
Looks very
Time.
fresh.
Go over there.
They're going to clip the tape
Get up here.
off of Romero's glove.
Give me that real quick. Cut that.
Whittaker does
Get right
keep
back
going to
there.
that push kick, but at least to this point
Shut
in
the
the round,
gate.
he has been unable to land.
Fight.
The last round, he followed up that push kick with a nice hook and did land. That's one of his better combinations. Yeah, we have not seen Whittaker let his hands go like we're accustomed to seeing with those quick, fast, accurate combinations.
I'm shocked that he's throwing so many kicks. If his knee really is trashed. But it may just be a pain thing and not a stability thing, in which case it makes sense.
He's definitely gotten away from his jab, which is an excellent strike when he sets up his follow-on harder punches. Landed it nicely in round 1.
He's put a lot of pressure on Romero here.
Oh!
He clipped him.
Big left hand lands for Whittaker. See if he can follow it up here. So a strong first 90 seconds to round 3 for Robert Whittaker.
A nice shot cutting him off too, keeping Romero's back towards the fence. Keep an eye if Romero starts to try and laterally move and escape these combinations. Remember what Whittaker did to Jacare, followed up a right hand with that right high kick, catching you circling away.
As we mentioned off the top, this has been a huge round for Romero in his UFC career. Of course, all of those previous fights were only scheduled for 3, scheduled for 5 here tonight with the UFC middleweight belt on line.
Exactly right. Finished Derek Brunson, 3rd round. Machida, 3rd round. Chris Weidman, 3rd round.
Tim Kennedy, 5 of 6 UFC KOs, round 3. Ooh.
Boy, and there's that nice right high kick.
Distance strikes starting to pile up for Bob Whittaker. Less than 2.5 here to go, round 3. So not much in terms of output from Romero through the left hand there. Whittaker counters, perhaps Romero starting to fade a little bit.
Yeah, I believe so. And he's looking to just explode with one big bomb and conserve himself in between.
Boy, that was excellent feint. Double feinting there as he closed the distance and really drew out a bad shot from Romero there.
He's still able to move well, despite whatever's going on with his knee. He's able to close the distance well, explode forward, stuff takedowns. He's obviously got some sort of an issue, but he's making up for it.
Romero's not even throwing strikes, not jabbing, not kicking. Oh, beautiful work there from Robert Whittaker.
You can almost feel Whittaker's confidence rising here as we approach the final minute of this third round.
Whittaker does an excellent job of same-side attacks. A lot of people, if you punch with the right hand or kick with the right foot, they expect you to follow up with the opposite hand or leg. Whittaker using nice right punch, right knee, right punch, right high kick. A little unorthodox, catches guys off guard.
Looked like that right hand landed partially. Robert Whittaker came in with the best strike differential
regardless
in UFC middleweight history.
Romero's not throwing anything.
Yeah, as fast as Robert Whittaker is, it is very evident that Romero's trying to conserve himself. Good left hand to the body there.
Yoel Romero has never seen a fourth round in his mixed martial arts career. He is 10 seconds away from doing just that.
I honestly can't remember the last time he threw a punch. It may have been the first 90 seconds of the round.
He clipped him with the left hand right at the end. Romero takes a big, deep breath as he goes back. Look at this. Michael Bisping's mocking him, telling him to breathe. Oh, he threw up that Cuban flag.
Bisping rips the Cuban flag, throws it at Yoel Romero.
Wow.
No mercy.
That's Bisping. Wow. Boy, they were working overtime on him.
You jab a little bit more. Come back underneath with the right overhook, follow him with the left hook when he runs away. He's running away from you. Okay? Does that make sense? You hear me? Use your push kick, he's working his way. Okay?
This is where it's going to get interesting, ladies and gentlemen. Fourth in the fifth round. I'm looking at Whittaker. He looks fresh, despite the injury with his left leg.
Had a little laugh in his corner as well. He's starting to really settle into this fight.
I think he believes that what he's seeing is momentum going his way.
Don't forget, post-fight show for UFC 213 on FS1 immediately following the main event. You can see it on Fox Sports Go. For those watching in Canada, you can flip it over to TSN as soon as we are done. Whittaker so highly focused on his cardio and his fitness. No denying he's the fresher fighter here as we hit these championship rounds. Round 4 underway.
He's using a lot of push kicks, creating distance, and as Brian was saying, he tries to go right behind that with a punch.
Whittaker moving a lot better here in round 4 than he was in round 2. Lands the kick to the body there. That got Romero's attention.
Very smart to attack the body right now.
Beautiful scrambles here. Whittaker up to his feet, trying to hit the switch. Can't make it, gets up to the cage.
Really smart, he almost sprinted towards that fence.
Yeah. There's a lot of energy here being expended by both guys. But if Romero can't get the takedown or can't get any damage to Whittaker, he's landing some good knees here. But this is going to be interesting to see how he fares in the last 3 minutes and 40 seconds of the round.
This is where he had success in round 2, where he basically just held on to Robert as much as he could. Even if he couldn't take him down, he's going to stay here as much as he can and just rest. And land a few knees trying to win the round.
Robert pummels under. He's up. He's up in his spring. He lands a nice knee to the body.
Outstanding job by Whittaker to get back to his feet. Just over 3 minutes here, round 4. No one talks about Whittaker's grappling. We talk about his takedown defense. Here's a guy, he actively competes in jiu-jitsu. Ooh, you saw something there.
I'll tell you what, he's extremely well prepared for this fight, just like he was against Jacare. For Jacare's exact style of takedowns, he seems very well prepared to break the hold and pummel and avoid some of these takedowns and just the clinch from Romero in general.
Romero's looking at his legs. He's looking at his legs, and remember that flying knee of Romero. It's one of his big weapons. And if he thinks that Whittaker's having a hard time getting out of the way of things.
Big deep breath from Robert Whittaker as we hit the midpoint of round 4. Romero 8-0 in the UFC coming in. Whittaker has won his last 7. Something's got to give here tonight.
There's the knee.
It's just harder to time those techniques on Whittaker because he moves well, light on his feet, feints a lot.
Yeah, even with that damaged leg, he's still able to cover distance well. Oh, he caught him with the left.
So Whittaker follows up the body kick with left hand. Beautiful push
kick to the body.
And look how smart he is, right? Some guys will get over aggressive here, try and throw a 2 or 3 punch combo in the pocket, but he immediately gets back out to his range, understanding just how explosive the athlete is he's facing.
Ooh. Just whipped with that left uppercut.
It was open though. Let's see if he goes back to it.
Romero's doing very little in terms of striking in this round.
Well, there's the significant strike picture, Joe.
He caught him with that right hand.
Has landed only 21 with just 6 minutes to go.
Beautiful takedown defense.
And that's huge because Romero needs another takedown to try and win this round. To control the beginning of it.
Not sure if he dropped Romero there, but he stunned him with a right. Jabs Romero while Yoel.
Oh, caught him with that left.
Man, beautiful left hand.
Oh, he rocked him.
Quick check on the clock by Whittaker. It reads 34 seconds.
Very little behind that kick. You can see how labored it was.
And he's failing miserably.
Stuffed the shot and landed a beautiful knee.
Look how sloppy that attempt is. He's exhausted.
Whittaker mixing up his strikes beautifully here down the stretch in round 4.
And he is just so intelligent in his approach. Never gets greedy.
Wow.
Wow. Wow, indeed. And look how tired Yoel Romero is.
Okay, let's stop playing. Yeah. Let's stop playing games now. Okay, let's get serious now.
Mira tus hijas allá afuera y él está esperando que tú le des. Que tú le des.
He's dead. He's dead. He's really tired.
Hable, sigue secando, Dios mío. Hable, sigue secando. No sigue secando.
Keep on drying. Let's keep on drying him.
Listen to me. You gotta win this round. You got me.
Put him away with punches. You get me? Put him away with punches, my friend.
I haven't told you
Breathe.
you are, man. This round's gonna decide, bro.
This is what decides it. Don't let him take you to the ground. Do not go to the ground. These one, you're punching me out. Stay on the outside. Stay on the outside, Ross. Stay on the outside.
This could be it right here, folks. This easily could be it.
You ready?
Personally, I think it's 2-2. I thought Romero won the first 2. Whittaker's won the last 2. Both corners agree. Both corners told their fighters, you need this round to win the fight.
Not much in terms of technical advice, at least when we listen into the corner of Yoel Romero. 5th and final round of this UFC interim middleweight championship fight. Ooh. There's a land for Yoel Romero.
Good jab by Whittaker right there. He's catching him coming in because Romero's telegraphing things, getting sloppy with his movements.
And Whittaker's faster. The hand speed difference is very evident here in round 5.
Romero able to duck underneath that.
Beautiful knee.
faked the right hand, came up the middle of the ring.
Oh, he tagged him. He's hurt.
Whittaker now circling out of harm's way. Oh, big left for Romero. You can feel the tension here inside the T-Mobile Arena.
Boy, Whittaker still has to be smart here. He cannot get greedy. Stay on the outside, get in and get out.
Big, deep breaths for Yoel Romero. He tagged him again with that right hand. He's got a cut over his right eye, excuse me, his left eye.
Romero's pushing here, though. He knows he's got to win here, man. He's throwing some heavy strikes now.
He is so tired. Ooh, good front kick to the body.
Whittaker able to get the guard up to block that head kick. 3.5 minutes now to go.
Whittaker's tired as well. You can see it. A lot of good feints by Whittaker.
Yeah. These punches are just getting slower and slower for Romero.
Good front kick again.
I love the body work from Whittaker right now. If I'm in his corner and scream and attack the body.
Again.
Cut on Reds to the knee.
Oh! That front kick to the body's money. Boy, both of these men exhausted.
Romero has been cut twice in this round, once courtesy of a knee.
This really is who wants it most. These guys are beat down.
It is all that clinch work. Rounds 1 and 2, there was a lot of clinching, a lot of digging for underhooks. Man, that is so fatiguing. And these guys actually accepted this on 6 weeks' notice. Vice, the typical 2 months you get to prepare for a fight.
And Whittaker less than 3 months removed from the win over Jacare Souza, again attacking with that kick to the body. These will be a long 2+ minutes.
He just peeked at the clock as well.
Romero on the counter. Once again, Whittaker gets that right hand up. He circles away from that power left of the soldier of God, Yoel Romero.
Boy, and there's no head movement. I mean, Romero right now is an easy target to find. It's just key for Whittaker.
Romero takes a shot so well, though. I mean, he's got an iron chin. The only guy that ever really stunned him in the octagon is Tim Kennedy. Look at this.
Huge.
Whittaker on top.
Whittaker. You just don't know if Romero has the energy to get back to his feet at this point.
This could be it right here. If he can keep him down here, and for Romero, it's imperative that he just, whatever he's got in him, he's got to explode and get back up to his feet or try to reverse the position.
And he's not even picking his feet up off the mat at this point.
Less than a minute to go. You can be sure Whittaker's going to try to stay active here. Elbows to the body. Total strike picture there, round by round. A big fifth thus far for Robert Whittaker.
And 0 attempt from Romero to get back to his feet right now.
Well, if Whittaker could close the round here on the ground, it could be huge for him in what has been a closely contested championship fight.
Look at this, stepping over, full mount, lost it, half guard.
Oh! One of those opened up a nasty cut.
All these in the back of the head, that's why Big John ripped his hand away.
Nasty elbows by Whittaker. Romero trying to get to full guard, can't make it. Trying to get back up to his feet.
Outstanding groundwork from Whittaker down the stretch. Standing cheer, ladies and gentlemen. Robert Whittaker and Yoel Romero go the distance in this UFC Interim Middleweight Championship fight tonight in Las Vegas.
Wow.
Both fighters seem to think they have done enough.
What do you think, Brian Stan?
You know, I feel like Robert Whittaker did enough to win the last 3 rounds. Thought he dropped the first 2, but you know, you just never know. Just like the co-main event.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I would like to see the better scoring system in place for these championship fights. but I agree with you. I think Whittaker did enough in the last 3 rounds, and clearly Yoel Romero conserving his energy.
Let's get to the fight replay, brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you.
And this is that front leg side kick. And there's the hook kick. There's a takedown by Romero. Front kick to the body by Whittaker. Very interesting.
It's an all-around and very, very smart approach by Robert Whittaker. I just don't think gets enough credit for his fight IQ.
Well, if the judges agree with you guys, Australia, New Zealand, they will have their first UFC champion. Michael Bisping and Yoel Romero getting into it a little bit. Hopefully cooler heads will prevail here.
Bisping and cool head don't typically go sense.
That is fair. The official decision brought to you by Metro PCS, who brings you closer than ever to the UFC on a fast nationwide 4G LTE network. Bruce Buffer now to tell you who won the UFC's interim middleweight title.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 5 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. All 3 judges score this contest 48-47 for the winner by unanimous decision and new interim UFC middleweight champion of the world, Robert the Reaper Whittaker!
I'm here with the new interim middleweight champion of the world, Robert Whittaker. First of all, Robert, how does it feel to hear that?
Oh my God. That was wait, what was this? Okay, where was I?
How does it feel?
Yeah, that was the most agonizing 15 seconds announcement I've ever had. It was tooth and nail there, but it's unbelievable.
Robert, early in the first round, he threw a side kick to your thigh that hyperextended your knee. Let's take a look at it. You went back to your corner and you said, my knee is fucked.
Yeah, that was politely putting it. I sustained an injury earlier in the camp, and I thought it'd be 100% by now, and then the bastard kicks it, and it set it back weeks.
Well, you did a fantastic job of hiding it. We were just noticing a small hitch in your gait, and then you went back to your corner and talked about it, but you never stopped throwing kicks, and you never stopped moving forward.
With a guy like Yoel Romero, he sees weakness, he'll capitalize on every time he can. I'm surprised he didn't kick it more. It was definitely impacting my game. I was trying to establish a solid jab, and it's hard when your lead leg's bum.
Now, was the leg unstable, or was it just hurting?
It was unstable. I reckon if he would have got a good one, another one, I would have dropped. It was pretty bad, but you know, champions made of this stuff.
Champions are made of that, and you are a champion now, sir. And now, the most important fight will happen now. You will now face Michael Bisping for the undisputed middleweight title. Give us your thoughts on that.
Listen, we were destined to fight, mate. I think it's fate. We were destined to fight, mate. I think it's fate. It really is. I'm happy to keep your seat warm until you're better. Give me a breather and we'll give it a good crack, yeah?
First of all, Robert, that was an awesome fight. Romero, well done. I wanted to come here and talk a lot of shit, but it was an awesome fight. But the fact that you're standing there with that fucking belt on like you're a champion makes me sick. You should be ashamed of yourself. Here, take that, fight me for it. I'll see you soon, motherfucker.
Hey, can I keep that?
Dana White grabbed that thing very, very quickly. What are your thoughts on Michael Bisping as a champion and how you two match up?
I think he's the champ. I think he's the champ for a reason. He's been in the sport for a hell of a long time. He's a veteran in the sport, and he's a tough opponent. I'm absolutely honored to fight him. He got disgusted when I was holding the belt. If it came in a necklace, I'd wear it. But, you know, here I am. This is the belt for #1 contender, and me and him are destined to fight, mate.
Robert, congratulations on a fantastic performance. It was an honor to call the fight. You are the new interim champion. Congratulations, sir. Robert Whittaker, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here with Yoel Romero. Yoel, give us your thoughts on the fight. Did you think that you had done enough to win the decision? I said, give us your thoughts on the fight. Did you think you did enough to win the decision?
Claro, tu pensamiento en la pelea, ¿crees que hiciste suficiente para ganar la decisión?
It's a very close fight, Joe. I am honest. It's a very, very close. Si los jueces dijeron que ganó él, pues se la dieron a él.
If the judges say that he got it, he got it. But it was a real close fight.
Did you realize that you had hurt his knee badly in the first round?
¿Te diste cuenta que le habías lastimado la rodilla gravemente en el primer round?
Sí. Sé que que le había hecho daño y estaba esperando mi momento. Pero bueno, hay veces que Dios sabe por qué permite las cosas y si perdí la pelea, pues bendecido también sea el Señor.
Yeah, I knew I hurt his knee and I was waiting for my moment, but if I lost the fight, God knows why he does this.
Thank you. Le doy gracias a Dios también por esto.
I thank God Almighty for this also.
You are still one of the very best middleweights in the world. Robert Whittaker will now face Michael Bisping for the title. Give us your thoughts on that and where you fit in to the middleweight title picture.
Eres uno de los mejores middleweights en el mundo. Robert Whittaker ahora va a pelear contra Michael Bisping por el título. ¿A dónde es que tú cabes en esa redonda?
Hey, yo estoy aquí, Joe. I am here. Yo no me he ido de aquí. Estoy aquí todavía en la lucha.
I'm here in the struggle. I'm here, Joe.
Never give up.
Never give up, indeed. Thank you very much, sir, for an outstanding fight. We look forward to seeing you in the future. Yoel Romero, ladies and gentlemen.
Those post-fight interviews were brought to you by War for the Planet of the Apes. Winner takes all this Friday, only in theaters. Australia has a UFC champion. His name is Robert Whittaker.
It is absolutely incredible the assault this young man has had on the middleweight division. From Rafael Natal to Derek Brunson to Jacare Souza, now adding Yoel Romero to his list of victims. I am so excited to see him match up with the champion, Michael Bisping. Experience, wisdom, two very intelligent, accurate strikers. Youth versus a real veteran, man, a lot to like in that one.
A lot to like. It's a fantastic matchup, and I just love the way Michael Bisping handled the whole belt situation.
He is phenomenal at, right away, psychologically attacking his opponents and finding a way to insert some doubt into their mind before they face him.
I agree, but I think that Whittaker handled it like a real champion. I think the kid's fantastic. I think what he did tonight was amazing, especially considering damaging his knee so badly in the first round. The judges got it right.
Back-to-back, two of the smartest performances by a fighter we've seen in recent memory. His win over Jacare, almost flawless, and here against Romero, after dropping the first two rounds, this kid his fight IQ is through the roof.
And he's only 26, and he's getting better.
And given the fact that, as you mentioned, he just beat Jacare Souza and Yoel Romero back-to-back, he will likely be the betting favorite to beat Michael Bisping when they meet later in 2017. And on that post-fight show, Bisping's on it. Whittaker will probably be on set. You can be sure there will be some more fireworks as those two exchange later tonight. What a wild night of UFC action it has been, as usual, here in Las Vegas. UFC 213 has been brought to you by Harley-Davidson. See your dealer today and learn to ride like some of your favorite UFC fighters with Harley-Davidson Riding Academy. Live your legend. And by Grunt Style. This will defend.
UFC Fight Night on FS1 at a special day and time. Gunnar Nelson, swift, silent, and deadly. Takes on versatile veteran Santiago Ponzinibbio. Plus, hometown hero Joanne Calderwood. And undefeated Cynthia Calvillo. UFC Fight Night on a special day, Sunday, July 16th on FS1.
Well, all you can handle, you're getting a live UFC event the last 4 weekends here in July. It continues next Sunday in Scotland. The main event, Gunnar Nelson trying to keep it going against the also streaking Santiago Ponzinibbio. Killer co-main event as well, Jojo Calderwood taking on the still undefeated Cynthia Calvillo. Main card, 3 p.m. Eastern next Sunday on FS1. Here's what's coming up inside the Octagon. On Tuesday, the Dana White Tuesday Night Contender Series begins at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. The featured bout at featherweight pits Matt Bessette against Kurt Holobaugh. It is the ultimate job interview, and it's only on UFCFightPass.com. Next Sunday, Gunnar Nelson seeks a 3rd straight win against another surging contender, Santiago Ponzinibbio. The main card from Scotland gets going at 3 p.m. Eastern, only on FS1. On Saturday, July 22nd, Fox UFC Fight Night features Chris Weidman versus Kelvin Gastelum. The Long Island main card begins at 8 p.m. in the East, 5 p.m. in the West. That is only on Fox. And the next time you'll see the Octagon on pay-per-view will be for UFC 214 from Anaheim, California. Daniel Cormier faces John Jones for the undisputed UFC Light Heavyweight Championship. Plus, Tyron Woodley and Damian Maia battle for the welterweight gold, and Cyborg faces Tanya Evinger for the women's featherweight title. UFC 214, Saturday, July 29th at 10 in the East, 7 in the West, only on pay-per-view. You can watch the UFC 213 post-fight press conference at UFC.com. UFC 213 post-fight show with Karen Bryant, Kenny Florian, Dominic Cruz, Michael Bisping, and Megan O'Leary is already underway on FS1. For those of you watching in Canada, you can flip it over to TSN as soon as we're done. Crazy night at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. The executive producers of the Ultimate Fighting Championship, UFC President Dana White, Ari Emanuel, and Patrick Weitzel. Our Executive Vice President of Operations and Production is Craig Borsari. Our coordinating producer is Zachary Candido. Tonight's show has been produced by the venerable Bruce Connell and directed by Anthony Pasquale Giordano. Jim Miller and Anthony Showtime Pettis put on a show in the end. It was a successful return to 155 pounds for the former UFC lightweight champion. That set the stage for Curtis Blades and Daniel Omielanchuk. Grueling heavyweight encounter. Big knee there, of course, by the pole. But in the end, Curtis Blades reigns supreme and continues his ascent in the UFC heavyweight division. That gave way to the co-main event. The trilogy completed between Alistair Overeem and Fabricio Verdum. Round 3 goes to the Reem, who could take Verdum's spot as the #1 ranked heavyweight contender. And then it was the UFC's interim middleweight championship of the world. 5 grueling rounds. Whittaker fought adversity. He is the first to beat Yoel Romero. He leaves as the interim middleweight champion. With that, for Joe Rogan, Brian Stan, and the rest of the crew, John Anik saying so long from Vegas. We'll see you later this month in Anaheim, California. Good night.